Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I have some more news, people. It does not stop concerning Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Get this. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have streaming issues, and Netflix is hit with a $50 million class action lawsuit. Of course, it was a blockbuster night of fighting turned into a streaming nightmare as millions of fans were left frustrated during Mike Tyson's highly anticipated bout with Jake Paul. With Netflix hosting its largest live sports event ever, the platform failed to deliver the seamless experience, sparking a $50 million class lawsuit. Okay, and I am one of the ones that had the issues, like a lot of us, thousands of us that were watching from my live show. Okay, so let's continue. And viewers express frustration over streaming failures. The lawsuit alleges that Netflix failed to prepare for the overwhelming demand. Over 60 million people were expected to tune in and watch the fight. But according to Down Detector, nearly 85,000 complaints about outages and glitches were logged before and during the bout. Viewers took a social media to vent their frustration, reporting interruptions that caused them to miss significant portions of the fight. And the lawsuit also noted that Netflix's history of similar issues argued the platform should have anticipated the demand. The event held at AT&T Stadium in Arlington was Netflix's largest live sports broadcast to date. The bout between 58-year-old Mike Tyson and 27-year-old Jake Paul was scheduled for 8 two-minute rounds. Jake Paul ultimately won a unanimous decision, but many fans expressed disappointment over the disruptions. In addition, Taylor's co-main event fight against Amanda Serrano drew nearly 50 million household viewers, adding the strain on Netflix streaming infrastructure. Okay. And let me counterpunch. This here should just pay out. I mean, Netflix knew or projected that they would make a certain amount of money. Okay. There's more to this, by the way. Okay. This is just Netflix. They're getting hit with a Class A lawsuit for $50 million because of constant complaints, and they should. I think they should. I think we should all get our damn money back, or some type of credit from Netflix apologizing for the issue or the ordeal, because they've made their money. So it's time for you guys to invest in giving it back to the people that made what that particular live stream was supposed to be. Okay, so that is a given. They should do it 100%. Now, okay, mind you, that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, they're also being sued because there is a script that leaked out from somewhere. Who, where, I don't know where. But it showed a breakdown how the fight was scripted to go. Again, I don't know how the hell it happened, but it's a great video explaining it, like this is supposed to happen, and then this is supposed to happen, and then this is supposed to happen. Meaning Jake Paul was supposed to win this damn fight, and people thought that Mike Tyson wouldn't or would have the reverence, the respect, the dignity to not take that money and run and go along with this status quo. You know, but obviously we've seen enough videos to be convinced that guess what? He is in on the take, okay? Because he wants that 20 million. He doesn't care if he wins or loses, because it's not about any of that stuff that we thought he was about, obviously, if that's the case, right? So, because of that, both of those guys are being sued. How much money? It's an undisclosed amount of money, but we don't know. We just know they're in and they're coming out for blood. So between Netflix getting sued, Jake and Paul getting sued for this huge event, you got to ask yourself at this point, how big was it really? You know what I mean? Or better yet, was it worth it? Was it worth putting on a shit show? You know, Netflix is they supposed to take care of their technical difficulties. You don't do that shit. You got an event that huge. You can't afford not to compensate, or better yet, you cannot afford not to be prepared for that. You can't afford that. Like, why would you not be prepared for that? And it just comes to mind, and it shows me one thing about Netflix. They were only in it for the profit. They were only seeing through dollar eye lenses. They weren't seeing through, hey, maybe we should put this shit in this format, or tweak this, or prepare for that in case this happens. It's almost like driving 1,000 miles with your car without having a spare, nor a compressor, nor a battery charger. You see what I mean? It's like doing that. That was the careless, most unprofessional thing that I've seen Netflix do. You know, so that is how that goes. Now, as far as the Jake Paul versus Tyson Fury thing, it's a little twist. It's a twist simply based off the fact that, where did this paper come from? If it was scripted, you think somebody would really be dumb enough to leak it, unless somebody wanted it leaked that knew, or wanted the greater good, or the greater truth, or the better truth to come out. You know what I mean? The raw truth, the unadulterated truth, that type of truth. They wanted it to come out, and it had, and therefore, because they did, it did. But I mean, how much would you put on a script? I mean, I don't think a script has to be written down for it to go a certain way. You know what I mean? I don't think it had to be blow for blow. I think those guys winged it. If they had any intention on not hurting themselves, okay, so be it. They scripted that themselves, not what a piece of paper that's claimed to be had or sent over and exposed now had everything on it. Because, I mean, think about it. Everything from 1 through, I think, 8, from the first round to the 8th round, right? Everything was pretty much word for word in that paper. So I don't buy the paper, because somebody could always wrote it after the fact, right? I mean, nobody had to do that before. They'll never be able to prove it was before, because it came out now after the fight. So we don't know those type things, people. You know, but yeah, as far as them getting sued, I wouldn't want to sue them. It's an exhibition. You know, yeah, it's a gambler scam. Somebody made a lot of money, and that may be the motive behind it being the way it was. That he was supposed to win, or whatever. It's supposed to went to the decision where we thought there were going to be knockouts, and there weren't knockouts or knockdowns. So yeah, I think they knew what to do. The only thing is, Netflix didn't. They were hosting the show and they didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think this is serious, because, you know, if all of this, if the people going after Netflix, I agree with that. But Mike and Paul, but for people or entity, some guy from Florida wants to sue him, or should I say them, over breach of contract, or over this, or they over that, I say get in line, and you're going to have a hard time trying to explain that anyway. You know, besides the constant videos that we keep seeing floating around in the internet, that's not going to hurt their case. But in time, it ain't going to help them either. But you guys tell me what you think of Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, Netflix sued. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!